My name is Linnea Kataja. I am a freelance manga artist. I'm originally from New York and now I'm based in Tokyo. When I was growing up, the general accepted idea was that if you were like living outside of Japan, it's impossible to become a manga artist. So I actually struggled with that for a really long time because I'm like, oh, this is my passion, but everyone's telling me I can't do this for a job, right? So maybe I should just quit. But in the end, I couldn't quit because it was what I love to do. So I ended up pursuing it anyway. I think the timing was very lucky because when I was graduating college, like social media started becoming a bigger thing in everyone's lives. So the last year of college, I started growing a really big following on Instagram, and that was how I started initially getting jobs. I had no idea, like that didn't even exist when I was growing up, so I didn't have that in my mind. So I feel very lucky about the timing with that as well. And now I think everyone knows like you can live as a freelance artist online, right? But at that time, I didn't think about that at all, so I'm glad for how things went. Especially when I was younger, I really loved shoujo manga. I still love shoujo manga, but especially like magical girl series like Tokyo Mew Mew or Shugo Chara or, you know, there's a lot of them from around that time. I just really liked all of them. So I mainly drew kind of like cute girls or shoujo manga characters. I felt a lot of inspiration, especially drawing cute girls. Like, I don't know, something like feels empowering to me or inspiring to me, so I always want to draw these types of characters. And yeah, in terms of my art style, I think I started getting into the horror element as well because a lot of people online now know me for drawing kind of cute horror. So I think that first started when I was in college mostly and trying to experiment with what I like to draw or like to do. And I noticed that I liked writing stories that had a kind of darker element because I just find them very like captivating, I suppose. Like I think they're the most interesting stories for me to read, and I got really into that type of thing as well. So yeah, I think I just found, okay, I like drawing cute horror, so I started going down that route more too. And now it's kind of my brand, I guess. So when I was in college, I remember there was this like professional artist that came over as a guest speaker, right? And they were talking about how it took around 5 years for them to fully be able to live off art as like a full-time job. And that's almost the same timeline for me exactly. Like from the time I graduated college, I started freelance right away and like kind of building up my social media. And then after that, you know, it kind of took time to grow up, but then, and I was also maybe doing other like part-time jobs or whatever on the side too. But then, yeah, now I'm able to live off my work completely. So if someone wants to like be a freelance artist, I definitely recommend like not going straight into it because I see a lot of people who haven't taken many commissions before. They'll take on a lot of commissions because they need the money, but then they're not used to the workload. So then they get really overwhelmed and then quit doing like freelance art or taking commissions at all because they come to hate it. So I definitely recommend taking like a slower pace. Like for example, maybe just taking 1 or 2 commissions at first and then take a few more, and then you can start raising your prices over time as like, you know, follower amount grows, or as well as like, you know, quality grows as well, you can raise prices too. So definitely it's like a marathon, not a race kind of thing. Like you should start slowly, maybe have like a part-time job too, and then, you know, once you're stable enough and make enough money from it, then you can like quit that part-time job if you want, is like that kind of feeling. Also, SNS is really important in social media. Like if you want to have a job as a freelance artist, it's almost necessary to like have marketing skills. So definitely research and like how to promote your work and do all that too. I find that even there's like really talented artists, but they don't know how to do marketing, so they don't get like any work. Whereas there's people who maybe aren't, like I'm not saying not as good, but like, you know, maybe the level is like different, but at the same time they get so much work because they're so good at marketing and like promoting their brand. And I'm like, wow, that's crazy. Like, you know, that's a talent in and of itself, I think too. So I think that's really important. Yeah. A lot of times actually works in progress can do better than the finished piece. Like, I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing, but I think a lot of people just really like watching like the progress of art being made. So yeah, I always think it's really important to post like works in progress and all that kind of stuff, and people really enjoy watching them. Sometimes I even get comments from people who don't even draw, and they're just like, oh, it's just like fun to watch people make stuff, you know? And I'm like, you know, that's true. Like, I like seeing that stuff too, you know? So I think it's really important, especially like if someone wants to post to social media often and they like want to do freelance art. I think it's really stressful to have to make like a new piece of art every single day to like keep posting consistently. So instead of that, it's good to just do like a little bit every day and then like post that, and then, you know, that way you don't really stress yourself out too much, right? I feel like the vibe or like, you know, kind of attitude towards anime and manga is way different here than if you compare it to like a lot of Western countries, obviously, because, you know, it's very mainstream here. Like, you go to the konbini and there's like manga magazines that you can buy. Like, everyone seems to grow up with anime and manga from the time they're kids, so it's like, okay, yeah, you know, it's like TV shows in America or something. It's like, you know, everyone watches it, or you don't have to watch it if you don't want to, right? Whereas like when I was growing up in America, it's like very niche thing to be into, especially because like it just started to become popular at that time. So yeah, I feel like it's more mainstream now than it used to be, especially thanks to the internet and like streaming services and all that stuff, you know? Oh, that's so hard to choose. What do I say? I mean, I'm a nerd, so obviously I love like Akihabara and stuff too, because I can go get all my nerd stuff I want. But in terms of my favorite place, I really like Odaiba, actually, maybe. Like, it's kind of a weird spot to choose, maybe, but I really like the train that you take going there, like the one that's really high above the ground. I heard that you can go across Rainbow Bridge too. I want to do that when I get a chance. I just like the sights, I guess. I would love one day to publish a book here. Like, that would be my biggest dream ever, but you know, I've learned that a lot of manga artists actually do still work as freelancers usually. Like, people aren't always serializing books or whatever. Like, maybe they're doing illustration stuff too, or they're doing some other freelance. So I definitely want to stay as a freelancer, but if I can get like the opportunity to publish my book one day, that would be amazing.